Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to talk about a few things this stream. We want to talk about what 2017 was all about. We don't have everything here. We just grabbed some few random things to talk about some of the hits and misses. And by that we mean what were some of the good products that came to market in 2017, what were some of the bad ones, and some of the stuff maybe we're undecided. It's too new to tell. We also wanted to give a quick update to HR38 and national reciprocity and fixed NICS. They've been combined, sent to the Senate. I spoke with GOA, or Gun Owners of America, today, and it looks like the bill, at least in the near future, will not go to the floor for a vote. However, they have introduced, or plan to introduce, I'm gonna look it up here really quick, their own version. The Senate plans to introduce its own version. You can look it up online. It's S2135. S2135. It's the Fixed NICS Act of 2017. It's a standalone bill. It does not have national reciprocity in it. And the Fixed NICS, as you guys know, I'm 100% opposed to. I think the NICS system is horribly flawed. We as gun store owners watch as people are denied and delayed. And then over 90% of the time, it's erroneous. It's BS. Either the ATF or NICS never calls back and we give them the gun 3 days later, or if they're denied, they get it flipped because it was bogus information. Either they had a name similar to somebody else's or whatever. But almost every single time, I can't remember last time somebody was actually just denied and couldn't have a gun.
Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. I've run a lot of background checks, and it's happened to me less than the times I can count on one hand.
And his family has been in the gun business since the 50s. So
talking thousands and thousands and
thousands of transactions. I used to be one of those guys. I used to go into the store that his family owned before we started Copper together, and I started off where I was getting delayed occasionally, and then 50% of the time I would get delayed, and then it wound up being 100% of the time I was being delayed. And I went and did what's called a U-Pin, where basically it's similar process to registering an NFA item, where you go and you send in fingerprints and whatever, you fill out a background check document, you submit it to ATF. A few months later, you get this U-Pin, or unique person identification number. And now I put that in on my 4473 forms when I transfer guns to myself, or now that I'm on the FFL at Copper, we transfer most of the stuff just through the store.
Keep in mind, U-Pins, and this may have changed, so don't quote me on this 100%. U-Pins used to have to be applied by handwritten letter.
Yeah. And
you had to attach a transaction number for one of your background checks, and you would have your U-Pin in approximately 3 to 4 months.
Yep. It was a huge pain in the butt.
If you wanted to buy something, and have it somewhat soon, whether you're going on a hunting trip, personal offense, feel threatened, whatever, nope, 3 to 4 months, you can get your U-Pin, and then
right. And what it amounts to, guys, is how the NRA sold this to the public back in the 90s. And they sold it to the public as a stopgap measure. They felt that, and I don't agree with them, that the federal law, our federal legislature was going to pass a law that was going to institute a 3-day or 5-day background, or it's not background check, but waiting period. And the NRA wanted to head them off, presumably, and so they proposed the NICS system and wrote the law saying, we'll agree to this if we do background checks instantly versus a 3-day or a 5-day waiting period. I don't think the waiting period would have passed anyway. Opinions vary, we won't know. But what we now have is a NICS system which is horribly flawed. And what it's turned into is a de facto waiting period for everybody that gets subjected to a delay or denial, because over 90% of them have nothing in their background that would preclude them or would exclude them from being able to own a handgun or a firearm in general legally. So the Fixed NICS bill, what it's going to do is it's going to give more funding to the government, and it's going to force these agencies that report this data. It's going to force them to report, and it's erroneous data. So what basically is going to happen, we're still going to have a very, very high delay and denial rate, except it's going to affect more Americans. And those of you out there that are supporting it, it's going to affect you too. And then I can't wait until I hear oh man, I keep getting delayed. It's like, told you so. I hate to say that, but you guys,
or you get denied. And now it's a legitimate denial. for something that really shouldn't be denied for.
Right. And if you take a look at the Facebook page, I made a post today where the National or the World Health Organization is classifying video game addiction as a mental disorder. So keep in mind, guys, what this Fix NICS bill does is empowers the government to pull this information, including your medical records, if you're ever diagnosed as being mentally defective in any way whatsoever, is something as stupid as the World Health Organization's proposal that if you're addicted to video games, you're mentally unstable.
Some people know this, I guess, but Omar, one of our employees, used to play video games professionally.
Yep.
So, per that example, he can't own a firearm.
He shouldn't be able to firearm because he's mentally defective, right? I'm a video gamer. I'm just not addicted to it, right? So,
who's to say?
But who's to say, right? So basically what it is already the NICS system is an open door that denies Americans access to their rights, and the Fix NICS doesn't fix anything. It makes the problems. It's a horribly flawed system. Anybody that works in our industry knows that it's flawed, and this bill does nothing to fix it. How you fix it is you get rid of it. We don't need it. For 200 years, we didn't have a NICS background check, and we can be just fine again without it.
So we got a viewer that's mentioning apparently one of the provisions in this bill, he seems to be a supporter, is that the ATF is required to clear incorrect hits within 60 days, which is what he says an improvement over the current system. So why wouldn't you support that?
If you think 60 days is a timely fashion, especially if
that's like saying, you know what, I'm going to kill you, but you know what, this time I'm going to give you, instead of 1 year to appeal, I'm going to give you 30 days to appeal, but either way I'm going to kill you. I mean, it's gun control, people. The fact that anybody who owns a gun supports gun control in any way whatsoever, you're part of the problem, and it's because of you that through 1,000 paper cuts over time, our anti-gunners are playing a long game, and there's no such thing as a compromise, and there's no one law that they're going to pass. If you think Fix NICS, if it passes, will stop Dianne Feinstein, Chuck Schumer, Pelosi, and all the other gun grabbers, you're mentally defective, because they're going to continue to try to introduce bills. No matter what you pass today, they just see that as a victory, and it inspires them to go one step further, and that's how we wound up where we are today. Before 1968, Sears would send a gun to your house, and guess what? The crime rate was lower than it is now. Now we have this, anyway, if you support gun control whatsoever, you're part of the problem. And when this law negatively affects you, I told you so.
To put it simply, most people that are gun owners that are supporting it, it's essentially, they go one spot and say you can't trust the government to do anything. They can't do anything right. They're not efficient. But with this, okay, we trust you to do honorable things with it,
right,
and respect our rights with this. You can't have it both ways.
No, and So I don't want to spend too much time on it, guys. It has been separated out to another bill. The poison pill this time was the national reciprocity. The Democrats, no votes for it whatsoever. It's probably going to die. The combined bill in the Senate, and then this NICS Act, which has the full support of the NRA, has 35 co-sponsors, and it seems to be an even split between Republicans and Democrats, so it has broad bipartisan support. Most of the lawmakers that are supporting it likely have no clue what it means, have no clue how flawed the NICS system is. Most of them never read the bills anyway. They just get told, hey, this is a great thing by the NRA, and they go, oh, okay, I want to keep my A rating, so I'm going to support more gun control because NRA supports gun control. Anyway.
It's a pretty bold statement there, Tim.
Well, let's see. The NRA wrote the Gun Control Act of 1934. They wrote the Gun Control Act of 38, and then they had the Gun Control Act of 1968. They have the Clinton years where they're helping the Clintons do the NICS background system and everything else. The NRA has had their hands on more gun control projects than anybody. They are not our friends. I've seen them from the inside. They're all about money, and they're all about power and maintaining power, and they will sell your rights out to do it. I thought they're going to change course, and the people that were coming in were going to make changes to the organization. It turns out that the people that are entrenched, which is Chris Cox and Wayne LaPierre, they're entrenched and they can't be unrooted. And until those cancers are removed, the NRA is defective, and they're not our friends. So,
no, I agree.
Do you want to?
I'm sorry, guys. I always get wound up. Let's get the political stuff.
Yeah, let's get that stuff
That's
out of
done.
the way. Well, I just wanted to say, do we want to say anything about the comment period about the bump stock stuff.
Yes. So guys, I know a lot of people out there watching don't care one way or the other about the bump stocks, but HR38 has a provision in it, and it's a simple sentence that mandates that the ATF revisit the bump stocks and reclassify them. I came across a white paper that was accidentally posted to the ATF's website prematurely, then was immediately yanked, but I got a copy of it. Truth About Guns wrote an article about it. But basically, they're going to try to ban bump stocks once again without going through the legislative process. And that's going on right now. So now they've opened it up for comments. And what that means is you need to go to the ATF's website and find out how to contact them and offer comments, ask questions, because they have to respond to every comment. And that's how we stop this from going forward.
The Truth About Guns article, they had a link to the comment website.
So check out Truth About Guns, find the article, and Dave thinks that they had a link so you can make your voice heard, and hopefully we can stop this. Why is it dangerous? It's just like what I told you guys. It's playing out just like I told you it would in the beginning. Right now, ATF has been directed by the powers that be to make the bump stock thing go away. They don't want it on the front page anymore. They, high power people within our own government, they would rather have tax reform and Obamacare fixed being at the top of the headlines. They don't want to see anything about gun control or bump stocks. And ATF has been told, fix this. And we know that because of the slipped document. We can see where the ATF is going back and forth on how they can make a law without actually going through the legislature to do it.
They know their end game. They're just trying to figure out the right recipe to get to it.
How they're going to word it so it can't be challenged in court, or if it is challenged in court, that it stands a chance to be decided in their favor. The danger of this is, guys, it's the exact same wording that the NRA used when it made its support known for banning bump stocks. They're going to try to regulate it by the rate of fire. Okay? What's a standard rate of fire for an AR-15 that's semi-automatic? What do you guys think a standard rate is? 1 second a round? Or 1 round a second? 2 rounds a second? Where would you put that standard rate of fire at? Because they're going to ban rate increasing devices. Geisley trigger? I can fire a Geisley 3-gun trigger as fast as I can fire an M16 or anything.
Buffers, lightweight bolt carrier groups, adjustable gas blocks. I mean,
that's the danger of this, guys. And maybe under the Trump administration, it won't.
Market part.
But anything that would increase rate, it's an open-ended law that will allow an anti-gun,
higher pressure ammos.
It would allow a future administration that's staunchly anti-gun, like a Hillary Clinton administration, to use what the ATF has done to take away some automatics or make it almost impossible to get them. So we cannot. It's not about the stock, stupid. It's about the guns, right? And I'm not calling you guys stupid, but it's like it's a diversionary tactic, and what they're trying to do, what they're ultimately going to wind up doing if they do this through the ATF and without the legislative process, is we're going to find ourselves fighting for semi-automatic or self-loading firearms, because they're going to arbitrarily pick a standard rate of fire and then say anything beyond that is a regulated item.
Multiple comments, multiple questions. Send them into the ATF regarding this. Let your feelings be known. Overload them. Overload them,
because then they stop. Once they realize they can't respond to all the comments and questions, then they stop, and it delays the process. It doesn't necessarily stop it, but if we're going to do this, if they want to do this, it has to be done through the legislature. Why do I say that? Because we can stop them just like we stopped the assault weapons ban of 2012. We can fight to make our voices heard when laws are being proposed on the Hill. What we can't fight is a bureaucracy like the ATF that has really no oversight, and anything they do, now you have to challenge it in court. You have to find a test case, then you have to go to court. It could take decades. Meanwhile, they're rounding up the guns and they're making stuff illegal. So it's a very, very dangerous thing to give a bureaucracy that much open-ended power.
It's hard to unpop that. Yeah, it's hard to unpop that cork.
Yeah, and once it's done, that ship sailed, guys. That's now the law of the land, because you can't undo that without an act of Congress. And now it's even worse. Now you got to try to motivate your Congress critters to actually do something that they don't. That's a hot potato. I don't want to touch that. It's an election year. Getting it undone will be nearly impossible. So again, the NRA is definitely in the wrong here, and it needs to be beaten. Okay.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
We do have one super chat. If you want to go over those now, or do you want to?
Okay,
at the end. I would say pertaining to the political stuff right now.
Yeah,
Let's get that out of the way and then move on.
Okay.
Just a thanks for streaming is all.
Oh.
it is.
All right, hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, and we'll try to get to the super chats and answer all the questions and stuff towards the end, so we won't keep stopping along the way. We're going to try to keep this to an hour, and I've already sucked up 15 minutes being political, overly political.
Actually,
but
17 minutes, but who's counting?
that's me. Yeah, right. Nobody's counting. Okay, so what we have here, guys, are a bunch of different items that are new to 2017. These are by no means all the new items from 2017. These are just some of the items that we've picked up that we found interesting in one way or the other, and we're just going to go through them one by one and kind of talk about them.
If there are any that are not on our table or we don't talk about, put them in the comments and we'll try to, if
Maybe
we
do
have a
another stream.
comment, if we have an opinion, we'll let you know.
Oh, yeah. We'll let you know if we have an opinion on that particular firearm. So we only have 2 rifles behind us. We have a table full of handguns. This alone could take a 3-hour stream if we spend too much time on each firearm. But pick one, Dave. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Oh, gosh.
Do a mad minute per. We could put you on a stopwatch.
Talk faster than I do. Drink my Monster.
Let's do, gosh.
Left or right?
I'm going to go Shadow 2.
Okay. The Shadow 2. So I got a chance to see this when I was in the Czech Republic, and I had a chance to shoot it before it was brought to the United States. It's an amazing pistol. It's expensive. There are different variations of it, but once you shoot this thing, it is the Cadillac of double action, single action pistols. Simply amazing in ergonomics and accuracy. So I think it's a big hit. I like the gray.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love this gun.
I mean, you guys know I love CZs.
Not a carry gun by any means.
No, it's more of a competition gun.
Yeah, it's definitely a competition gun. I have small hands. I have a hard time with a lot of larger full-size guns. This is rock solid. The grip is comfortable for me. It's comfortable for you. So it fits most people. It's got the extended features that you'd want for a competition gun. It looks good. It feels good.
Looks really good.
Trigger's
I
great.
love that triangular cut to the slide now.
Right.
It's really, really good looking. The serrations are cut very deep and they're very sharp. A lot
Bore
of folks
axis is low.
real low in the hand.
low.
It has
Sights are good.
Yeah, it has really good adjustable sights. It also has this extended mag release here, which is really, really nice. So it's got good weight to it too. It's a heavy gun. It's not lightweight. It's all steel. It's meant to be carried cocked and locked. There is no decocker. But yeah, I love this pistol. It feels narrow, feels good, and it just shoots like a laser beam.
It's a pretty awesome gun.
That's
So definitely a hit. I like.
If you like double action, single action, you're looking for a target pistol or a competition gun, definitely check out the Shadow 2 if you can get your hands on one. They can be
They're
hard to
hard
find
to get right now.
Yeah. All right, you got to pick that one. Let me pick the next one.
Okay.
All right, guys. So I jokingly say I hate 40. I don't really hate it. Like it's a fine self-defense cartridge. The reason I've had a hard time with 40 is because it took 10 millimeter away. Now we're watching 40 slowly die a painful death. And 10 millimeter is coming back. We're seeing companies like Ruger and Chris and Dan Wesson and all these companies. Ruger just introduced a 10 millimeter revolver. I mean, everybody's making 10 millimeters again. It's like it's the early 90s all over again when 10 millimeter was on the rise and everybody was making a gun for it. It's coming back strong. And I love the 10 millimeter. And you can get some really, really good Norma type loads, which are 200 grain projectiles going about 1150 to 1200 feet per second. It's a hand cannon.
What do you think's brought about? I mean, I think the proliferation of hog hunting and stuff was a big push for that cartridge, as a sidearm for that.
Yep. It's a great hunting cartridge. It's great for deer. It's great for hogs. It's great for whatever. And Ruger, this is their entry into the 10 millimeter market. And it's affordable. This one has target sights on it. It's stainless steel. I did do a video on it, and yeah, I'm really, really happy that Ruger has their 1911 out in 10 millimeter. I know that
Springfield just released theirs. Did you mention that?
Who?
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, the company that shall not be named might have introduced something, but we don't care about them. Traders. Anyway.
You're the one that wants one.
Only if I get it used. All right, so yeah, I'm definitely the 10 millimeter, the SR10 from Ruger, the SR 1911 10 millimeter is a really, really good, well-made 10 millimeter option.
This is the only configuration in 10 mil they make is the stainless black?
I don't know that.
I feel like they need a little bit more glitzy one.
Could be.
Even if it's a little bit more money. I feel like it's a little bit blah.
It looks good. The black and the stainless. It's kind of a satin stainless, bead blasted.
It's a good workhorse.
Rubber grips.
It's a good workhorse 1911 look. Yeah. But I think if they don't have one yet, maybe a more traditional polished blue with wood grip just for guys that like that.
Good gun, good price.
Yep.
Okay, you get to pick the next one.
Oh, we've had 2 good ones.
Let's pick a miss.
Let's pick a miss.
Or we can do a neutral one.
Do the biggest miss.
You want to do the?
No.
Do we go for that
We'll
first?
wait for the biggest miss.
Oh, you're gonna. Ooh, this is interesting. We haven't rehearsed this. We haven't talked amongst ourselves about what we think of each
We
of
could
these guns.
disagree. I think we probably disagree on a couple of these.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah. So M&P 2.0. It's got a different texture than a 1.0, and that's about it.
Yeah. So
it's not a bad gun. It's just not anything really different than the original M&Ps. Much that makes it no feature differences that really matter.
So
at all.
Are we doing hit, miss, or are we going to have indifferent? We might need indifferent.
This
because,
could be an indifferent one.
Yeah. So I won't say it's a miss. There are things about the gun I like. There are things about the gun I can't understand.
It's missed potential. I mean, they had the chance to really fit like the trigger.
Yeah.
That was a miss. The serrations, why even go through the machine time for those? Yeah, suckers.
I pointed this out in the video. It's so funny when you look at the serrations on the 2.0. So they put these anemic little front slide serrations there, and then if you look at the frame, you see where it has a hump right there where my finger is. So if you try to do your press check on the serration, as soon as you hit that hump, it breaks your grip. So I mean, it's utterly pointless. It's just there because I guess it looks cool. They should have, if they're going to use front slide serrations, put serrations up there, not half-ass it like they did there.
They did release a Glock 19 size one though.
They did.
Why
don't we have that?
I don't know. You're the one who collected the guns.
That's
a solid change.
Yeah. So they do have the M&P, which is the same size as the Glock 19.
You did something right. I'm proud of you guys.
So that I would say the smaller version of the Smith & Wesson M&P definitely a hit because that's. I mean, I remember early on when we were talking about doing some custom work. We were thinking about trimming the magazines down and reshaping them and, trimming the guns down to make them Yeah. And we're like, as soon as we do that, they'll come out with one. And, a year later they did.
Yep.
So, which segues nicely into, so I'm going to say that that's kind of a neutral. I'm indifferent. They didn't really do much. I like the guns. They just don't fit my hand. I don't shoot them well, but I think it's a solid option. And the version 1 had some issues that they've resolved through incremental changes. I had a very early Gen 1, for example, the hydro-locked. Well, they resolved that a long time ago.
Honestly, the trigger is the biggest thing that's missing from that gun.
I don't know why they keep going with this big half-circle trigger. It just does not feel good. The Apex flat-face trigger is a huge improvement. All my M&Ps, the couple that I have, I've put Apex triggers in them because that makes them feel better for me.
And Smith is usually, especially when they come to the performance center guns and even the core models, they have that mid-grade. They're usually pretty good at looking at the aftermarket and integrating it into the production line for the next year. Yeah. And they didn't do it for that one.
No, it's kind of a All right. Did you pick that one or did I?
I did.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about another. What I was kind of hopeful for it, and and this is why I wait so long before I render my final judgment on a firearm. I can get a gun and be really excited for the first couple of weeks, and then a month later I'm like, you know what? There's really nothing special about this. Or I can start off and look at a gun right out of the box and go, oh, this thing's awful. And then, a month later, I'm really impressed by it. So I hate taking things right out of the box and passing final judgment. Unless they're just completely screwed up and absolutely don't work, like the R51. We should have brought it out for an honorable mention. We got another version of never mind. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the APX from Beretta, when I first saw this handgun, I was impressed. I still think it feels good. I think it's a solid entry into the striker-fired market. It has the modular chassis system, adjustable back straps. I mean, it's your standard polymer frame striker-fired pistol with the dingus on the trigger. Don't be a dingbat. Get a gun with a dingus. You're seeing the P320 and now the Honor Guard pistols failing drop tests. And one of the reasons why is they don't have the Glock inertial trigger safety. And without that safety on the trigger, the gun can fire itself if the trigger's too heavy. When it stops and immediately goes the other direction, that inertia can cause the gun to fire. And the Honor Guard may actually be part of the sear, who knows. But the dingus is present on this gun. I would assume it's about drop safe, but we haven't beat it with a hammer. Probably won't. I'm kind of, at this point, indifferent. When we ran it through the gauntlet, the first thing I noticed as soon as my hands got wet, these serrations that I thought were cosmetically ugly were extremely practical because it gave you serrations across the entire top of the gun. The problem is they're shallow, at least on this one, and there's not a sharp edge there, and my hands slip right past them, and when I get my hands wet, I was finding myself doing this, grabbing it and trying to hook around the muzzle end of the gun, trying to get the slide to come back when I'm cycling the gun to get the dirt out of it for the next test. And so these serrations don't work for me at all once my hands got wet.
I like the idea, the direction they were going with those serrations of kind of like this even thing. It looks different for sure. You see it obviously looks different. Just the angle and design of the actual serrations are bad. If they would have just put a little bit different angle,
put some more meat into them.
Yeah.
Make the edges sharper.
Yeah.
And probably
so close, but
yeah,
missed it.
Yeah.
Missed the mark.
I'm just kind of indifferent about this gun at this point. I was really excited when I got it out of the box, and this is one that I just became kind of indifferent to it.
I think it's important to note with that one, if anybody is looking for a full size 9mm, it's a solid choice.
No, I agree.
I think the modularity is good.
You can change your colors very quickly and easily.
And it's the frames are affordable and readily available.
No, I'm just kind of indifferent. Would I carry it? No. I like it. It's just I'm not. It's not like, oh, that's the one. Yeah. It's just kind of eh.
Would I carry it if it was only good? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I trust my life to it.
Yeah,
but it's just kind of eh. All right, that was me.
I agree. I feel like this is a way missed potential with the modularity. They knocked that out of the park. It comes down to the ARX for me.
Yeah.
It's a great gun internally, engineered. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But externally, they missed the mark on ergonomics and
it's that weird Italian styling. I don't think this gun looks all that bad. Some people think it's ugly. I still think I like the appearance of it. The ARX 100, that gun just isn't doing well in the U.S. market, which is unfortunate because actually the functionality of that gun is insanely good. We took out AK and AR and maybe one other gun, and we froze them with water last winter. And that sucker never skipped a beat. Every other gun had a malfunction of some sort. That ARX, I've run mine hard with a suppressor. It just never has skipped a beat ever. It's a great functioning gun.
In my opinion, the ARX to make that, what would have made that successful in the U.S. market, new stock, new trigger, new handguard.
And Beretta told me over 2 years ago that they had a slightly longer stock option they were going to make available. They had the different handguard. They gave me one of the prototypes because I said I didn't like the grenade launcher thing on there. I mean, it's neat because it's the original military style, but functionally for the end user,
internal guts move it to a different external functional chassis.
Yeah, make it a little bit more ergonomic.
And that's how I kind of feel about this one. Internal bones are good. Need to do something else with the slide serrations and stuff.
All right, we got a half hour. Next one. I think I picked that one. All right. What we have here with the Maxim 9 from SilencerCo. This is an interesting pistol. What do you think?
Initially, when I saw SilencerCo start teasing this, I thought it was utterly dumb. Utterly dumb.
Yep.
And it's not until we actually had one in hand and started shooting it and seeing it that I'm actually love this thing. And so, I didn't think it was functional. I thought there's no market for this. We're trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. I was wrong. Completely.
Right. Once I got out to the field, started shooting it, and started thinking about it, it shoots incredibly well, has insanely long sight radius. It's very quiet. At the shooter's ear, it's extremely quiet. When you take two baffles out of the stack, you can actually shorten the gun quite a bit. And at the shooter's ear, the performance of the suppressor with the baffles removed with the shorter configuration is just as good the suppression at the ear. So it's well within hearing safe ranges. So you can take that one shot, in a home defense situation inside of a house. You can use full power 147 grain defensive loads in this handgun and suppress it, and you can take that shot without causing massive hearing loss. Or if you're a hunter like myself and you want a suppressed handgun when you're out hunting pigs, you put them out of their misery, you use a handgun. Well, you're carrying around a handgun with no silencer because typically if you put a handgun with a silencer together, they're so big and unwieldy, you don't want to carry it that way, so you just leave the suppressor off. This actually solves that. It's a great nightstand gun. It's set up for an RMR. I'm waiting to get a mounting plate for it so I can put an RMR on it.
This is a phenomenal home defense gun.
Yeah, I start off thinking it was goofy like you, and then and this is how I got my mind changed. So I have an open invite to any suppressor manufacturer that wants to bring out a product and put it on the meter. The only stipulation is that we get to post the video. Whatever the numbers are that come out of it, the video goes live. And SilencerCo took me up on that. So when you watch my Maxim 9 video, I wasn't going to buy one. I wasn't convinced of the gun. They brought it out and said, yeah, you meter it however you want. And they hadn't metered it at the ear, so when they saw me setting up for the ear, The rep was like, uh-oh. He's like, they didn't know what to expect. They knew what the numbers were at the muzzle, but they didn't know what to expect. Like, what are you doing? I said, I measure everything at the ear now because I'm worried about preserving my hearing. That's the whole reason to suppress. And so he was real nervous. We fired it. The numbers were awesome. The gun blew me away. And this is mine, so I had to have one.
I think the most important thing about this is it is a step in the right direction. I think there's room for improvement.
Yeah.
But the concept, I think, is going to hopefully catch on, and some other people are going to try it.
Yeah.
And
this gun is so incredibly well thought out. At first, it looks goofy.
it does.
But when you look at the functionality, it uses Glock magazines. But when you look at the functionality of it, how simple it is to take apart, and it's a sealed system. None of the gas from the suppressor can get past this, so it gets dirty back here. That's all you need to do to clean the gun. That's fully field stripped. It's such a simple design that it's actually really, really incredible. So that it blew me away when I first played with it, and I love the numbers so much so that I had to get one for myself. So this you're gonna see in more videos. I'm gonna put an RMR on it. I'm gonna go into the field. Let me show the holster here really quick. I ordered one of these off the SilencerCo website. I think I paid
Keymod underneath.
What's that?
Anyone who knows there's Keymod.
Oh yeah, there's Keymod underneath it. It's
So,
like, oops, change it then block.
Do they have a stock?
I haven't seen a stock for it. That would be a
So
good
you
option.
would think SBR it, stock in a
little
vert grip
yeah,
that
that's
you
kinda
could
cool.
fold in. That would be kind of neat.
Stock in one of those would be cool. So here's this is a Blackhawk CQC. I hate the
Lots
Serpa.
of people think it's ugly.
The
man.
Serpa.
Lots of people are saying
The Maxim?
it's ugly. Yeah.
It is.
I don't
not,
think it's a particularly good looking gun. I think it's
but it's functional, guys. That's what threw us
I
off
will
at the
tell
beginning.
you-
I looked at it and I thought it looks like a RoboCop gun
withhold judgment until you actually get to hold one. So find a shop that has one that you can
and play with
hold.
it.
Because
So
once you get it in hand, it may change your mind a little bit.
it is. They also offer a chest rig. I found that with this holster with the full baffle stack, you sit down, it's constantly bumping into stuff. This isn't practical to wear unless you're just walking around, sitting in a vehicle or whatever. Simply not practical. The gun's too long. But they offer a chest rig, which I'm going to buy next. Because I tried this first. It was the lower cost alternative, and it's just not going to work for me. So when I go into the field, I want to use the chest rig so that I can pull it out and put it away. So,
It's a pretty large grip on it. You think
it's ergonomic. It's a Glock magazine in there. It's pretty
long.
narrow.
I was thinking
takes
what they
Glock
do in a
mags?
45.
It does take Glock
take
mags,
Glock mags for
and
once.
it eats hip fires.
Correct.
All right, did you pick that one or did you pick
I
that
picked that one. Yeah.
So we had gotten a couple comments, by the way. What are you guys' thoughts or anticipation about the news that PMG, also known as Arsenal Firearms USA, rebranded once again into Archon Firearms and changed the name of their pistol they're importing from the Strike A and Strike B to the Type A and Type B?
It's not surprising.
Delaying
Guys,
again for
there's
another year.
there's so much I know in the backstory I don't want to talk about. I don't want to get into it. If that gun makes it to market, I'm going to be very surprised. Is it a cool gun? Absolutely. I got to shoot one of the very early prototypes. I love the name Strike A and Strike B and how they read. Originally it was made in Italy, and some sources say that some of them were made in Russia. But the original version that we had here in the United States was Italian made, presumably. Then there was a falling out, and that's the part I don't want to get into. And then they wanted to spool up manufacturing of the gun here in the United States and change it around a little bit, because the original Strike 1 was a popular pistol, but it was expensive, but the prices started to come down. But they wanted to continue the line here in the United States because of a split in the business partnership between the manufacturer and the U.S. owners. And so now they tried to work with a number of different companies. A lot of the companies that originally came on board have dropped out. It's gone through a number of restructurings. I think the manufacturing now, they're even talking about sending parts to Germany.
Well, the guns are made in Germany.
So now they're made in Germany. It went from U.S. being done by Salient to now Germany. And now they've gone through a company name change, and the new name is horrible. And a Type A and Type B. I mean, that's just horrible.
The Strike A and Strike B were awesome names.
Yeah, the names, the nomenclature they're going to market
so
with is horrible. They need to hire a real marketing firm.
Throughout
That's horrible.
Throughout all the turmoil,
But the gun looks awesome.
It's not surprising. I mean, we have kind of this. With all the changes, it's not surprising that there's another one. I think if it ever does make it, I think it'll be an awesome gun.
Right. I like it.
Who knows if at this
Right.
Folks that are manufacturing it now are known for quality. It's manufactured in the European Union.
Right.
Yeah.
By
No,
you
and
know, large.
I will
scale,
say that I believe,
manufacturers.
I do believe that their focus is on quality. I do believe that. It's just they've run into so many bumps in the road. They got to be hemorrhaging money like crazy. I just hope the guys that are funding it have deep enough pockets to keep the project going forward, because I do want to see the guns on the market. But yeah, so I think the new name of the company is horrible, and I think the nomenclature is horrible. I'll get used to it if the gun's good, right? But there's so much that goes into marketing.
I'm crossing my fingers this year. I was really excited about that gun, so.
Yeah, I'm still excited about it. I'm just, every time I found out more news that they've changed, you know, there's different ownership, there's different people involved, there's different manufacturing. Now it's out of the country again. I keep thinking, man, are they ever going to get this thing done? My hope is yeah, I hope they do, because I like the original Strike 1. I still have one, and the Strike B that I played with was a very, very cool pistol in a very early prototype stage. They've only improved it since then. So, all right, who picked last?
I picked the Maxim.
All right, so I'm gonna pick. Let's go for the big cheese. This is a definite miss. This is a $199 CDNN special. The Remington RP9. Following up on the success of the R51, right on the heels of the success of that one, they brought this lemon to market, and this is one huge overweight cudgel that is poorly designed in so many different ways. But now you can pick them up for $200. Yeah. They came to market at $4 something, and now they're down to $200 because they can't give them away. And sadly, this gun what they tried to do with this gun is they tried to make one chassis system that could do 45 or 9mm. They brought it to market the size of a 45, but chambered at 9mm. If they would have brought it to market as a 45, then chambered at 9mm later, it may have done better. My first gun had all sorts of problems. If you watch my first video, I buy these guns. Remington tried to give me a second gun. I said, nope, I've already ordered one through RSR. You know, we buy them through the gun shop. And the second one ran better, but it still has, both of them still have flaws that, I simply wouldn't buy one. It's not at $200. It's not even a good deal. It's just a bad gun. So that's a miss in my book. You?
Definitely a miss. Not much more.
I'm closing the slides on the ones we've talked about, so we know what we've talked about.
Okay. You know, people who watch the video know the magazine issue, but you know the cost savings we talk about. You figuring out this is a pair ordnance mag, and they're just recycling whether they had them on hand or just didn't want to redesign the magazine.
The weak spot of the Para Ordnance handguns, they had all sorts of problems, and I'm sorry if you're a Para Ordnance fan, they're horrible guns. Remington bought up Para Ordnance, and in their infinite wisdom, it's my opinion that they're reusing Para Ordnance magazines. This looks like a 38 supersized magazine. When you put 9mm in here, it's cavernous. It's in the video. And when you put a full magazine in the gun, if you carry the magazines inverted like I do with the magazines I have here, bullets or rounds tend to walk forward slightly. And there's plenty of space for the bullets to walk forward when you're carrying them in inverted. And when you take a magazine that has the round just 1/8 of an inch forward and put it in the gun and slap it, the slide will go home automatically, and it'll throw a live round out of the magazine. It goes right through the feed lips. We show it in slow motion, and just throws a live round out on the ground, but chambers the next round, and the gun will fire. But that's just an engineering flaw. Hopefully Remington will fix it, but I don't think the gun's going to survive. I mean, it's already at CDNN at $199, and when that happens, it's in its throes of death. So. All right. Would you agree with that, or?
Absolutely.
He didn't say anything. He's like,
yeah, it's not good. It's terrible.
Yeah. $199 doorstop.
Yeah. I mean, if you are looking for a good boat anchor for $200, or doorstop, or you have somebody on your Christmas list you don't like, yeah, get him an RP9.
I mean,
there's nothing
even
good about
look
it.
at this is something that's not really been mentioned. It's the texture on this. I don't know how close I can see this here.
It won't focus on there. It's set focus. So
there isn't any. I mean, it's so light.
Yeah.
Very bit. I mean,
it is a very narrow grip, and then you have grip panels you can increase the grip, but it's
the dimensions of the grip aren't bad. But there is no. I mean, that texturing you can see it, but it's not there. You can't feel it.
Smooth. Yeah.
Right. It's a smooth.
But
grip.
it's top heavy. The slide. I posted a picture on Instagram because Remington was saying, "Oh, our gun has the exact same weight as other guns." I took the slide off this gun, a slide off a SIG, a slide off a Ruger, which people call a heavy gun, the SR9, or the Ruger American. And I weighed them all, and this slide's heavier.
Yeah.
This gun is just top heavy. It feels horrible in the hand.
Didn't you confirm that that is designed to also be a step up for if they possibly released a 45 as well?
Yeah, we mentioned that. It was designed around the 45, I believe, and they should have released it in 45. I still want to see the 45 version, but I don't know if it'll make it that far because I think Remington's, they're just not selling them, and they probably won't invest any more money into it. Not at the moment. All right.
Let's get this eyeball out of the way.
So this is the new 7.5 FK BRNO, and I'm probably mispronouncing it. It fires a brand new cartridge. It's a bottleneck cartridge. It fires a 95 grain copper hollow point lead-free bullet at 2,000 feet per second out of the handgun. And it still maintains, I believe, an 1,800 foot per second muzzle velocity at 100 meters, which means this gun, and in talking to the guys over there, now this one is here on TNE, but I was talking to the guys over at the company, and they said, look guys, no bones about it. This gun was designed for hunting. It's designed to kill at range. And if you take a look at the sight systems, which we'll talk in depth about in the video, which is coming up here very soon, hopefully next week, my initial thoughts on the gun, the cartridge, the only thing that's out there that's even close to it ballistically would be the 9x25 Dillon that was developed for IPSC shooters, which good luck finding a conversion kit or ammunition for that gun. Right. Dave said he's kind of not excited about it. Me, on the other hand, I like it. It's CZ-ish.
I'll tell you, yeah. I mean,
the quality's through the roof.
Beautiful gun.
They're listed at $7,000.
Yeah, that's what we're getting to. The price on the first 1,000 is ridiculous.
It's kind of funky looking, but I think it's a beautiful gun.
It's elegant.
Right.
It's and what's really cool about it, this big thing underneath here is an attenuated weight system. So it's very similar to the Hudson 9, which we'll get to here in a minute, but it's very dissimilar as well.
And I think conceptually, I like it. The fact that you can have a lightweight, and it's
cannon.
Not for a handgun, it's not lightweight, but essentially this is a rifle caliber in a handgun. I mean, it is. Conceptually, I like it. You know, the stock option, I dig it.
Hopefully, they get the price down.
The price is the one kind of negative about it. It's got to be affordable.
It looks
ammo's
like
got to be. You got to be able to find it. So if
ammo's
those things happen,
they have tons of ammo.
All
right. So they've already imported or manufactured. I think they're actually manufacturing it here in the States. Maybe I don't remember what they told me, but they did tell me they have tons of ammo. So there's no shortage of ammo. And but you know the guns are $6,500. So but that's the first 1,000. They're bringing in regular production guns. These were limited edition first 1,000 launch guns. They do have a stock system for them, which you can go to their website and see the stock. I definitely want an SBR one.
The only other thing I have to say about it is the squared back edges here. I'm not a fan of. So the grip has a very squared off rear end.
When you look at a CZ,
the top part of the grip does a great job with ergos. But then
right. You get to the bottom and it gets a little boxy.
So you can see.
Mimic that, and that would be awesome. You can see the square.
So it's a little square. See, my hands, it doesn't feel bad. It's almost like a flat mainspring housing on a 1911. I love the way the thing looks and feels. I'm totally intrigued by it because it's something different.
Yeah.
I love it when companies step outside of the box and risk a lot of money to bring something like this to market.
Like I said, so from a concept, I think it's awesome. It's at that price. I mean,
I think it's freaking amazing.
You can almost buy a Barrett 82A1 for that price.
Yeah, the price is ridiculous. Hopefully they can get the price down to, if it was just a couple grand, it would reach a much broader audience if they could mass produce these. I don't know why. I mean, I do understand they're trying to recoup R&D costs and stuff. They spent millions of dollars probably bringing this gun to market. They got to recover those costs.
I think it's a gorgeous gun. It's one of the most beautiful guns I've seen in a while.
It's strictly single action, cocked and locked to carry. But it's got a great trigger. I am not going to run it through the gauntlet.
That would be kind of fun though.
I might get sued for that one because I don't own it. Yeah, this one's a T&E gun. Now, if they can, if they make this available at dealer or industry pricing, I may be interested in trying to buy one. But if it's anywhere near $6,000, I no. But this is definitely a cool gun. I'm excited about it. I absolutely am excited about it. So we'll see. Now this is a perfect example. 2 months from now, after shooting it, I may go,
Yeah.
So I don't know, but right now I'm excited because it looks like my beloved CZs. I love the caliber, the power of it, and being a hunter, I could take this thing into the field and I could probably I could take a deer with it. They took some huge animal with this thing. What was the animal they killed with this thing? It was like some, I don't know, elk or something that they've already shot. So it's designed to kill large animals, and I think it'll probably do pretty good. The caliber is really, really cool, and this is a close-up, again, of that bottleneck cartridge, the 7.5 FK. All right. I picked that one. You're next. We're running out of stuff.
No, I mean, we'll do another blah.
Here's a blah. It's the new Gen 5 Glock. Yay. It has ambi controls and first and second generation features. Now they're just shuffling the chairs on the deck of the Titanic. Glock is losing market share daily to companies like CZ and to just about anybody that's making Beretta, Smith & Wesson, Janek. They're losing market share. They're hemorrhaging market share. And so they do things like come out with a Gen 5, which is basically an amalgamation of all the previous generations that they've changed, which doesn't really accomplish much. Really, the only thing on it that I'm like applauding, slow clap, it only took them a decade to figure out, is putting an ambi stop slide release on it. They took away, back in the Gen 3 days, guys, keep in mind, when they improved perfection, they put finger grooves on it and everybody hated it. So now they've improved on perfection again and they removed them. And they went from a 2-pin to a 1-pin again. And then it's just, it was all a marketing ploy to try to, drive sales and rekindle interest in a gun that's 30 years old.
They did keep one feature that everybody loves, the quick release quick release slide release paint.
Yeah, it disappears.
I mean, you can remove that paint instantly if need be.
This gun's barely been used and it's polished bright. I mean, the finish on it's
anybody
horrible.
uses them, you take it one range session and that's silver.
Yeah, but it actually works. Unlike the RP9,
sure,
you can actually use it.
Sure, fantastic.
I mean, it's nice. There's nothing wrong with it, guys. Would I sell my Gen 3 or Gen 2 or Gen 4 to buy one? No, because honestly, I'll never use this. Yeah. So I'm kind of like,
Okay, so
slow clap.
What could they have done where you would have said, oh, they knocked it out of the park?
It's presumably perfection. Leave it alone and bring something else to market. Right?
I would agree.
Glock, all they do is handguns. Do something different, Glock.
Here's
if you're losing market share, try a rifle, try a carbine, try something, but quit that or come up with a new handgun.
Here's my
just
major
leave this
issue
one alone.
Is right before they released that, they released a Gen 4 with steel sights and front serrations.
Which was, I love that gun.
Two super simple things that they could have done.
That really improved it.
If they would have removed the finger grooves, put those serrations on there, and come with steel sights, everybody would have been happy.
Right.
We're like, oh, finally.
Because right now it still comes
as close to perfection as Glock's going to get. So leave it.
Just leave it alone. The Gen 4 with the steel sights I'm agreeing. I was actually, and it has the front serrations for people that like it. I'm indifferent to them. I don't hate guns because of it. Yeah. I mean, that was a good.
I don't really care about them either, but it would have made a lot of people happy who care about them.
It makes it more versatile, right? That's why I say make the slide stop work as a slide release on the gun. Don't tell the consumer how they should use their guns. Let them decide. Because when I load a pistol, you watch me on videos, I stick the magazine in and I ride up, and then with the thumb that's inserting the magazine, once that magazine's in, I release the slide that way. I learned that little trick from the guys at Blackwater when I went out there, because I was doing this stuff with the slide, the slingshot, and they go, stop, stop, stop. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? And we went through a whole reason. I can do a whole video on why they don't do it. And it makes sense, put the magazine in and it's ready to go. So, yeah. Then they brought back this. I will say, this was pointed out, I think, by Twang and Bang, and I confirmed it. It accidentally happened to me, where they've cut this out in the front again.
Yep.
With a loaded magazine, you can hit that on a reload, and it'll screw you up, and you won't get the magazine in the magazine well with a round in there. The round just hangs up on that huge lip, which what they've done is they flared the bottom. This is something where they really screwed the pooch. The flared bottoms here, I don't know if you can see it.
Until they get to the front of the strap.
And then you put a magazine into it, that flared grip to make the beveled magazine well. The trade-off is now you can't get your fingers actually onto the base plate of the magazine, so when you have to strip a magazine in a malfunction, You can't do it from the sides like everybody normally does. Most guns taper down or have a cut out there so you can actually grab the floor plate and strip it out of the gun. What Glock has done is they've made these cuts, which they've done in previous generations, but they're even more pronounced now in the Gen 5, that they want you to do this to strip a magazine out of a gun, which is just dumb. I would rather not have the mag well flared. I never had a problem getting it, on a single stack magazine like this that tapers to one round. It'll go right into a double stack magazine well. I've never had a problem with it. The trade-off, I think, was it's perfection.
Blah.
Yep, dumb. They screwed it up. They'll fix it. It'll go away, probably Gen 6. It'll go back to a Gen 1. Call it Gen 6. So, okay, I got to pick the next one. We're running out of stuff. Oh, you know what? This one's fun. Let's do a fun one. What?
No, do the best one.
Oh, Sam. So, guys, I am a CZ junkie. A lot of the guys here at the shop are CZ junkies. We have to, when we do get them in, they're very hard to get. The guys here fight over them on who gets to buy them. They never even make it to a customer. They want them. And the P10C is no different. Now, I know that there's some folks out there that have had some problems. It's a brand new gun. It's a first generation gun. We've sold a bunch of them, and I know of one customer that had to send it back in for a trigger issue. Have there been any more?
The end plate.
Oh, the end plate. There was we had one customer that had the end plate hanging down that the gun wouldn't go completely into battery. I have one. This one's mine. This one's been through the gauntlet. Jason, the cameraman, has one. Sam, you have one, don't you?
Not anymore. I traded to a guy. I kept my PO7.
Okay.
I will be getting another one.
Sam's buying he traded it for a PO7, but he's going to be buying another one. I've had 2 of these guns now, and I've never had a problem with them. I absolutely love the P10C. I think this is probably the best striker-fired pistol on the market at the moment. The price point is right. I'm absolutely in love with this handgun, and everybody at the shop is absolutely in love with the handgun. How about you?
I think it's good. I think it's in the top tier of the striker fires. I don't think I'm as unbelievably in love with it, but anybody looking for a striker fire gun, it's got to be at the top of your list.
See this, guys? See this little horseshoe right here? That's so you can strip a magazine out during a malfunction drill.
They shoot good. The trigger goes out, fits good out of the box.
It's a very good trigger out of the box. Probably one of the best. The only other gun that I would say it's better is maybe the PPQ.
It's close.
VP9 had a good trigger.
Everybody knows I'm a big PPQ guy. It's as good, if not better, than the PPQ. The only reason I like the PPQ better for me is because of the mag release design.
I love this.
Otherwise, it would be for me, I'd probably take a P10C.
Now, you'll notice that mine has Talon grips on it. I will say that the grip serrations are probably the most aggressive of any gun on the market right now. When you fire this thing, you're going to have little square marks in the palm of your hand. It's very, very aggressive. Now, I like it because it gives you options. You can mute that with some fine grain sandpaper, or you can just put Talon rubberized grips on it. These are some of the new Talons. I've not had good luck with them in the past. They tell me that they've changed the glue material, the adhesive material, and I ran this gun in the heat. We're going to be running it in the cold this winter. It's been through the gauntlet, and I have not been able to get these grips to come off, and I like them. I love the feel of the rubberized Talon grips on the gun. It enhances the feel of the gun to me and gets rid of that really, really sharp texturing. I love the way that rubber feels in my hand, and it's grippy even when my hands are wet.
I like the Talons. For me, it's hit or miss on model.
It just depends on the model.
Yeah. I've held some other guns where I'm like, okay, this isn't great. So for me, it really goes model to model.
One last thing. This is also wearing a 2017 product, and this is the new APLC from Inforce, which is a micro light. And guys, this little guy is amazing. I love the size of it. The switches are on both sides. You can turn it on, turn it off, or you have a momentary on just by. No, actually, this one doesn't have the momentary on. Does it? No, it doesn't. Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. You hold it. I don't usually run lights on my guns. I don't like them. This is the first time I'm trying to make myself like it. So I need to go out and do some nighttime shooting with it. I haven't done that yet.
The thing I like about the APLs and APLCs over pretty much any other light is the activation switches. It's very intuitive. It's not complicated. You're not dealing with toggles. You're not dealing with programming.
They're very low profile and non-snag.
It's on off, or I hold it for momentary. It's
snag free.
You really don't even have to think about the function of it. It just works how you want it to work.
I have an appendix carry holster for this, and this thing comfortably, with the light installed, comfortably appendix carries for me. So it's finally, they've made a light small enough and bright enough to be useful. And now you can actually carry it inside the waistband.
Everyone says thanks for blinding them.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, guys.
And no, let's see if I can get the angle right. There. All right. It's that thin. Like it doesn't add
It's as
any
thin as the
width.
gun. Yeah. And it doesn't hang down any further than the trigger guard.
Right.
It's a beautifully designed, and this is a Glock that we forced onto this gun.
Oh yeah,
It's the Glock rail. It
so
fit perfectly.
It's for the Glock, but it fits on a PPQ. It fits on a P10C.
You just got to push it on. It's a little bit tight.
Yeah.
But we push it on there and it works just fine. So, but I've never been a big advocate. I carry a separate flashlight on me. I believe in having separate lights. So I'll carry a light and a gun, and very rarely do I carry them together. And this is my baby. It's been beat up. I'm going to lose it someday. I'm going to cry like a little girl because I've had this thing for years and all over the world, and it's never failed me. So I always have a light, always have a gun. I don't like using them together because I don't want to ever be in a position where I'm using my light or using my handgun as a flashlight. That can get you into trouble. But in the military and law enforcement worlds, I think it's absolutely necessary as a civilian. Think about it. So, all right. That was a P10C. What do you pick? Big dog? All right. Bum, bum, bum. What do we have here? This is the B&T USW A1. And this is the holster that goes with it. It has a retention system in it. It has this new micro aim point on it. It is, in essence, a Sphinx pistol that's been modified. It's not, it's manufactured by B&T. While it looks like a Sphinx, it's still quite different. You'll notice on top and how it's flared right here. This is how you charge the weapon. You pull it to the rear like that. Back here, it's set up for a standard B&T side folding stock. And you will see the stock on this pistol eventually once I Form 1 it. Or we just manufacture it here. One of the two. But the aim point, amazing. I love this little aim point. The pistol, I'm excited about. This one has the extended magazine in it. You also have a standard flush fit magazine. Has the the Inforce light on it, but it isn't the micro or the new APLC. But has the controls of a Sphinx, and the stock folds forward, and you have a stock release button right here, and the whole stock system and everything will fit into this holster, and then it has a hood that pops over it. And yeah, with a stock on it, being a 9mm carbine with a red dot, micro dot, this thing would just be an awesome little camp carbine, something to throw in the Jeep when you're going to go out and spend some time in the woods. I love the aim point on it. I don't know. What do you think?
It's okay.
Wow, man. See, I think this thing's cool.
I think it's cool. I think it's the aim point nano is cool. Doesn't the holster have a
nano?
feature,
it's a nano.
Doesn't the holster have a feature that it like deploys the stock when you draw it or something? Or?
That I don't know because I haven't put a stock on it. But it has the room in there for the stock. You can see the room. Yes, I'm muzzling myself a little bit, but that opening there is for the stock. So
the thing that excites me most about that gun is the aim point.
Yeah, I wish Aimpoint would actually release that as a
right.
I think USW. When I get a stock on this thing, I'll be wearing it around the shop. I love this thing.
It's kind of cool.
Kind of cool.
Well, here, and this is the weird thing, and this is just me, and I don't know why. I love the TP9, and to me, it's the same thing. It's just another TP9. It's like, well, okay, it's just same size, same weight. Are they the same mags? No, those are
different mags.
Yeah. Same holster style, same stock.
It's more ergonomic in my opinion. The USW is.
Possibly.
I think I like them both. I love the TP. The TP9's freaking amazing.
I bet that's heavier.
I don't know.
Sure.
That'd be interesting.
I'm gonna wait until I get.
I don't know why.
Maybe
I need some range time with it just to get excited about it. It's just I don't know. I just can't bring myself to get excited about it. I don't know why.
I'm dying. To get a stock?
What's retail?
The retail's fairly high.
I would imagine.
I can forget. I can't keep track of all this stuff.
If they ever made that in 10mm, I'd be all over it, man.
Oh, dude.
I would have much more interest in 10mm.
Hey, if you're listening, B&T, make it in 10mm.
Then we're talking. It's a whole different story.
Yeah, 100%. I'd be on board. I'm all in.
I'm not going to look up the price. You guys can Google it.
Actually, you don't know.
Yeah, put the 7.5 in that bad boy. I want to see other guns chamber this. I don't know if they're going to open it up to other manufacturers or not, if they're going to release a SAMI spec on it. I will find out before I make a video, but hopefully they don't sit on it and pull an Alexander Arms and almost kill the caliber because they won't let loose of it. He almost killed 6.5 Grindle holding on to it before he released it to Sammy Spec and let other people load it.
Do you know what this reminds me of? You know that little 22 TCM?
It reminds me
like
of
a bigger version.
It reminds me of 357 SIG.
Okay.
It's like a neck down 10 millimeter. Yeah, but it's not. It's not. There's no base cartridge. It's very close to 10 millimeter, but the brass is longer. The head is very, very close, within a few thou. But the 10 millimeter isn't the parent cartridge. It's totally unique. So you will need to buy brass if you want to hand load for it. Hopefully they flood the market with it and they get the price down on the guns. All right.
Last of the pistols.
Last of the pistols.
No, 2. We have 2 more.
Okay. Yeah. Gosh.
A good and a blah, or a good and a bad?
A good and like another slow.
Let's end on a good. So
okay. All right. So this is the Janek TP9 V2. These aren't bad handguns, guys. These are great guns for the money. A lot of people use them. I've never had a problem with them. I think they're up to like 15 different models now of it. That's where it kind of gets comical. Every year they release, it seems like 1 or 2 different variations of the handgun. They're all over the place. The version 2 that I'm holding here right now, they've gone full circle. So the original TP9 had I'll go ahead and had the Walther style trigger, which means right now it's cocked, and let's say there's a round in the chamber, you can stage the trigger to that position and then pull a little bit further and it would fire. You have a decocker here on the top. And when it's decocked, now you can't stage that trigger. It's double action, so it pulls the striker all the way to the rear before it fires. This is the original design of the TP9, which is kind of funny.
I thought the original TP9 was a kill switch.
No, that's what's funny.
And you'd have to
no.
recock.
So the early ones was basically a straight Walther knockoff.
Okay, but that didn't come to the U.S., did it?
Oh yeah, it did.
Okay.
That was the version 1. This is the version 2. Yeah. So they took this gun.
But I thought the original had the kill switch. So when you decocked it,
I'll get to that. I'll tell the story. No. So they had the original TP9.
Right.
The version 1. This is the TP9 version 2. So the original TP9 was a direct Walther 99 knockoff.
Copy, right.
Okay. So all the functions work the same as this gun right here. So, but they claimed that this decocker setup made for a bad trigger pull. And so they were trying to improve the trigger. One way they did that was they made this decocker so that when you decock, it kills the trigger. Right now when you decock, it's double action. Right? So you always have that double action second strike capability. They took that away in the next evolution of the gun, trying to improve the trigger pull. So I called it a kill switch. A lot of people try to defend it for some reason. There's no reason to have a button on a gun that turns it off, because once you hit that and decock it, the only way to ready it again is to run the slide. And some people said, oh no, you only have to push it back a little bit. It's like you're going to do
Try to do that quickly.
Try to do that in a gunfight. Like, oh, I got to recock my gun. It was dumb. And they quickly fixed it. The next version of the gun deleted the decocker altogether. So then it was just a simple striker fired TP9. Now they come back around and now they got the TP9 version 2, which is just like the version 1. That has all the same features. It's a Walther P99 knockoff.
All right, so I'm changing my opinion on this a little bit.
Okay.
It's not a bad option because some people like that option. This is
where it should be. They went full circle. It's back to what it should be.
Right. So I guess I was thinking that was more of a blot. Okay, that's maybe a win.
I mean, for the price, it's a good price.
It's an ironic win, but it's a win.
I know. It's just funny watching the product run a complete circle right back to its original design. Okay, call it a V2. It's a nice gun. It's great for the money, and they work. So, but
okay,
yeah. All right.
Yeah, I changed my opinion on it in just that short amount of time.
All right. Oh, we're a little bit over, so let's quickly do the Hudson 9. We'll get to any of the super chat. Oh, we got a couple rifles. Okay, Hudson. All right, guys. Hudson 9. I'm totally intrigued by this gun. I've shot it. It runs great. Very low bore axis, extremely controllable, extremely ergonomic. It's awkward in that it has a recoil system down here that's lower than the bore, which does help in muzzle control. Some would say it's similar to what's being done with the FK, the 7.5 FK, but it isn't the same. Yes, they've lowered the recoil spring on the FK as well, but they have a weight system in here that counterbalances the recoil forces. This gun doesn't have that. It's just a simple recoil system that's lowered, but the gun sets really, really low in the hand. And man, it is just a flat shooting, good feeling gun. Now they brought it to market calling it a striker fired 1911. I think that does the gun an injustice. I think it's better than that. And the trigger is a little bit different. but it has an inertial trigger safety on it. It's not a dingus, but
works
it's
a
their
little
own
differently.
design.
Kind of an inverted one.
Kind of an inverted one, but has great sights, feels good, reliable, accurate. I like the gun.
I think it's a win in a new innovative design. I think it is a loss in practicality.
Yep. Some people are going to say, it's set up here for a light. You'd have a light hanging down way down here. Yeah. So if you're going to run a light on the gun, don't buy the gun. This is for people like me that don't put lights on their carry guns. It's narrow. It's thin. I mean, it's extremely well made, and I just love shooting the thing. I really, really enjoy shooting this gun. So I think the Hudson 9's cool.
This is the gun for the tech geeks that like the newest, greatest, coolest technology out there. That's just, really well done. Yeah. But don't necessarily need it. They just want it. This is I want gun, never I think it's a practical choice gun with all the alternatives.
Let's see how this thing fares. We're going to keep putting
very similar to the Legion series SIG guns. I think it's practical.
Yeah, I would carry it. I have carried it.
Wrong.
Wrong. Yeah, I like it. But opinions vary, and I actually like the gun quite a bit, a lot more than I thought I would. And now that I've shot it and I've seen how reliable it is, it runs everything I stick into it.
I would say most of my opinion of it being impractical is modern day carry.
I carry just
home
fine.
Defense is fine.
Yeah.
You're also 6'4".
Dude, it's look at this next to a 1911.
Exactly.
It's the same size.
And what's the capacity on it?
On this one? Yeah. It's 16 rounds. You got 15, 16. I think, in the mag. 16? I
think it's 15.
It's 15 in the mag, I think. Might be 16. Yeah.
So it's a Glock 19 capacity. I don't know.
Dude,
I think it's a really
You only
cool
need
gun.
one round if you're a real man.
I think it's a really cool gun. I think the technology's awesome. Design's awesome. It's almost on the realm getting to this one as far as being just really well made. I mean, you pick it up and you feel how good the quality is. But I just don't feel like it's practical.
I disagree. I think it is.
You know what I'd love to see happen with the Hudson H9?
What's that?
A Hudson H10 and 10 millimeter.
And 10 millimeter. So if any manufacturers are watching this video right now, make your guns in 10 millimeter. All right, let's talk about the rifles real quick.
And let's end on that one.
We'll end on that one? Okay. So this is more of a trend, guys, and this is a trend that I'm excited about. This is the Savage. This is an MSR. This one's chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. I'm a huge fan of 6.5 everything. 6.5 Grendel, 6.5 Creedmoor. 6.5 Creedmoor is affordable. It's easily a 1,000 yard. It's a 1,200 yard. You can push it further than that cartridge. It is an amazing round. I went into the field with it. There are very good hunting loads available for 6.5 Creedmoor. When I first got it, I had it in a bolt action DTA, and I viewed it as strictly a paper punching cartridge. It was a target round. It was a competition round. They changed that. Hornady, I've used their ELDX rounds in the field, and it smoked a Jim's buck. I mean, stuff that animals that are traditionally 300 Win Mag bullet sponges, I've seen 6.5 put them down. Now, it's all shot placement and stuff like this, but it has the umph to do what needs to be done. It is a great field rifle. And the first rifle they came out with, and I think they released them at the same time, the Target model with the PRS stock on it, longer barrel. Too heavy, but if you're into bench rest shooting with a gas gun, check it out. I wanted the collapsible stock version, shorter barrel, suppressible. You can see I have a muzzle device on there for a suppressor. It's for an OSS can. And then I have a Trijicon 1-to-8 power on top of it with a Midwest Industries mount. You'll be seeing this thing here. It's an awesome very, it's a great scope, great mount, great rifle, and awesome caliber. And I'm really excited to see 6.5 Creedmoor taking off and more people building guns for it.
I want to be more specific about the actual Savage MSR line. Affordable, simple, well done. They gave you the two configurations that you wanted. They give you M-LOK. They kept it simple, and I think they did really, really well at bringing
it's a great looking gun, and I like it.
So people are saying, the other caliber here that we've got, that's a huge win for 2017 so far.
Yeah,
that's really given 6.5 Creedmoor a run for his money, honestly.
Let's see if we can. So this is some of the prototype ammo. You guys will see a video drop here pretty soon of me taking the first white-tailed deer ever to be shot with this new caliber. It's a 224 Valkyrie. I wasn't impressed when they came out with the 22 Nosler last year. I wasn't impressed with the 2245 Sharps from the year prior to that, I believe. They did nothing that impressed me. This little cartridge is insanely accurate. I've taken deer with it. It fits into a standard AR-15 magazine. You'll want a 6.8 follower or a 6.5 Grindel follower. We've successfully used both. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't have the problems of the 6.8 where it starts to bind up in the magazine because the overall length is just a little bit too long. Remington dropped the ball again there. Imagine that. So this is a very well-designed round. It shoots a 90-grain bullet that has a ballistic coefficient of .563. That is insane. This thing stays supersonic. This 90-grain projectile stays supersonic past 1,000 yards to about 1,200 yards. Out of a 22, we took it out to 1,000 yards. 22 Plinkster and I went out to 1,000-yard range, and we were shooting prairie dog-sized targets at 1,000 yards with this thing. This is going to be my varminting cartridge. The price on this, they're saying full-blown MSRP is $13.95 on a box of 20 like this. Reality, the American Eagle, 20 rounds, $12. I will never use 5.56 again.
What's the match stuff going to go for?
The match stuff, I think, is going to be in the $25 range. Okay. It's still really, really affordable for the gold medal. So I'm really, really excited about the 224. Again, when I was first told about it, blah. Then 22 Plinkster, who works closely with Federal, had one. He brought it up, and we did a video together. And after we had a chance to shoot at 1,000-yard range, then on the MAC range, I'm blown away by it. My cameraman Jason's in love with it. He wants one now. He's watched me smoke a couple of deer with it. It's really, really cool. It's really, really cool.
I think one of the most exciting things for me about this is all the guys that want to get into long-range shooting, and they're all looking at 6.5s, and this is the normal progression. You know, most guys come in looking at 338s and 300 Win Mags. It's like, well, how far are you shooting? You know, 800 yards. Well, you don't need that. Let's look at 6.5s. You know, let's look at
a new drop-in upper for your AR-15.
Well, what I see
now you can get something that's either a conversion for an AR, or I'm sure they're gonna have bolts in it as well.
It's a barrel and a bolt change.
It's an affordable round. It's low recoil that you can reasonably learn and not only hunt but learn long range shooting with.
Dude, I'm gonna waste so many prairie dogs with this. I am looking forward to summer because I cannot wait to get this out. Get it out because this thing bucks wind. When we're shooting at 1,000 yards, we had some pretty good gusting wind, and this thing with its extremely high BC, it bucks the wind. It's like shooting a 300 Win Mag in terms of what your holds are. Instead of holding 2 mils left for wind, you're just holding on the edge of the plate of the target. It's really, really efficient, and it blows me away. And I think it's going to be a really popular cartridge. I think it's going to do well. A lot of excitement on the internet. One last gun. It wouldn't be a discussion of 2017 if we did not bring out the MDR. Now, yes, I do have a suppressor on it. Yes, it's wrapped in tape. It's because it's a silencer I cannot show you guys or talk about yet. It's something that I've been blessed with being able to test and give feedback on. And then when it's ready to be released, I think they're going to release it at SHOT Show, I'll be able to talk about it. But the MDR is here. I think the only kits they're shipping right now are still 308s, right? So we don't have any 223s out there yet. This is a 308 flat dark earth. I think I read somewhere that they had a problem with the production.
I heard. I haven't seen anything written. I've heard that rumor. So I don't know if it's just delaying.
Yeah, we've heard rumors.
There's no recall or anything.
Yeah, we heard rumors that production's been delayed or whatever. I don't know that. This gun for me runs 100%. I'm totally intrigued with this rifle. I'm really excited at the prospect of Desert Tech bringing out other calibers. This in 224 Valkyrie, this in 6.5 Creedmoor. It's just like the MDR, or not the MDR. It's just like their the bolt action, the SRS. It's just like the SRS. You can quickly switch calibers in minutes. It's very, very easy to do with one tool. It's just a hex wrench, and you can swap calibers. And you can swap the sides that the gun ejects out of. It's fully ambi. It's really well thought out, and it's an exciting design. And I'm glad that it's finally here. People have been waiting a long time for it, and so far I've been thoroughly impressed with my copy of it.
If all the guns coming out work as well as this one, it's a home run. I mean, it's a really, really cool gun.
Yep, I'm excited
about it. Especially when the caliber changes are going to be the key thing.
Yeah. I went all out. This is a VCOG that's on it.
As long
savvy
as
sniper
as long
sling.
as they deliver on the caliber kits.
See, that's always the problem, right? That's the problem. We don't, it's like the
Just
the
think-
ACR.
I was gonna say,
it's multi-caliber.
Just think how prolific the ACR would be right now if they actually delivered what that gun is capable of delivering.
Right.
It never came to
It's
fruition.
dead now.
If they delivered the Masada instead of the ACR.
Yeah, if it just would have stayed with Magpul and became the Masada, it would have been.
Biggest rifle fail or miss of 2017, the Vepr ban.
Yeah, that's not really a product. That's
right. That's
any type of ban is a big miss for me. And guys, here's the sad reality of that. Anytime in my lifetime when a ban has been placed on Chinese imports or any type of firearm import, I've never lived to see that ban lifted.
doesn't come back.
And never comes back. So even though it was done by executive order, even if Russia ends its war in Ukraine,
That one's not executive order. That's congressional sanctions.
Was it congressional?
Yeah, it was in result of the Russian takeover of Crimea.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So chances are we'll probably never see Russian rifles again,
unless relationship
I hope I'm wrong.
with Russia improves significantly, or enough time goes by where we forget about it and all of a sudden forgive them.
I don't know. It was done through just an agreement. It was an act of Congress that took SVDs away from us, and that ban's never been lifted. There's no reason not to import an SVD. Even under the stupid Gun Control Act of 1968, it's a target rifle. It was developed as a target rifle. Right. It wound up being used as a military rifle. I mean, here I go. I'm getting mad.
But anyway,
I hate gun laws.
Yes,
Stop.
It is. I guess a fail, but not a gun fail. I mean, the Veprs are awesome, but it is a fail.
It's a fail. We lost our Segas. We lost the Veprs. Yeah, that sucks because
Chinese way back. But
yeah, I want the Chinese guns back.
Couple things before we get to the super chats. Tim, can you give us an update on Full 30 for 2018?
Yep. So guys, all we can talk about right now, we got some really big news with regards to Full 30. We're going to blow it up. So Full 30, we have some, I don't know how much I can really say because we're still in the contract phase, but just know that Full 30 in 2018, we're going to open the doors and it's going to be a hosting site for outdoor content creators. We're sick of YouTube. We built the site 4 years ago because we knew the day would come where YouTube would kick us off. I was convinced of it. I talked to other guys within our industry. We had a big roundtable at SHOT Show about 3 or 4 years ago. We all agreed that YouTube could kick us off whenever they wanted to. And a few of us decided to move forward with plans to build Full 30 as a lifeboat. And now we need that lifeboat. I don't care what you think of James Yeager. YouTube kicked him off for bogus reasons. And he's just the start. Everybody goes, it's just James Yeager. We don't like him anyway. Wrong answer, guys. You keep saying that until they come for you. They're coming for all of us. I get account strikes regularly. I don't know if they want me to say it or not, but a very popular, forgotten channel just got an account strike. They're hitting out all of us. And all it takes is 3 of them in a 30-day period, and we're off YouTube forever. Mm-hmm. And they're trying. I've had 4 strikes that I've successfully fought, and I fight. I spend so much time fighting these account strikes because they keep happening. And eventually, they could very well kick me off as well. They could kick Plinkster off. They could kick Hickok off. They could kick anybody off.
Right. Full 30 in 10 millimeter.
In 10 millimeter, full 10 millimeter. Site redesign.
These guys are
but so we do, guys. The whole reason Full 30 has been a closed site is because it's very expensive to run, and we had to carefully balance the ads versus the views. We had to maintain a 100% fill rate to keep the site self-sustaining and profitable. And that's why we couldn't just open the floodgates, because if we just let everybody upload videos, it costs very real money to transcode that upload into a streamable format, to host it and to stream it. And if it's very expensive and complex to do, and what we needed to take Full 30 to the next level is what we've accomplished now because of what YouTube's done. It's accelerated our timetable. We were trying to do it organically, but because YouTube's being so aggressive at kicking gun channels off like James Yeager, that we've accelerated our timeline, and we've went out and sought investment capital so we can blow it up very quickly, get the phone app, get the doors open to all outdoor gun creators, airsoft, knives, all the taboo stuff. Come to Full 30. If YouTube pulls your plug, you have a home. That's been our goal the whole time. So that's the update I can share with you guys so far. And I can't wait to tell you who we're going to be working with. You're going to love it. I'm excited.
This guy says you banned him from your Instagram page because he called you out for posting to YouTube before full 30.
No, he's being a jerk.
Sorry.
No, yeah, you were being a jerk to me, and I don't have to put up with it. So I have my reasons for doing that. That was my response, and you continue to be a jerk. And look, I don't have to put up with abuse from you or anybody else. So you got the ban hammer. Sorry.
A couple more things. Another hit of 2018, in a lot of people's opinion, was Polymer 80 and their 80% Glock lowers made of a really quality material with metal frame rails now in their Gen 2 version. I know you guys haven't gotten to handle them, but I have. I think they're really, really nice products. And if you're into that homemade guns thing, that's great. I think it's a fantastic way to exercise your individual liberty.
Oh, so make a ghost gun.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I haven't done it yet. I haven't made an AR or a Glock. I think they even do 1911s now.
I'll take your word for it that it's a success, or that it's a hit.
We got to do that. Let's order some in and videotape it and see what it takes. And we have everything here to make one. That'd be fun.
Also, okay, so before we get to the other comments now, real quick, anticipated industry trends for 2018. Where do you see it going? What do you see happening? What would you like to see? Something like that.
I'll go first.
What do you not want to see?
Guys, the reality is we're seeing a shakeout in the industry. We're going to see, I think, in 2018, a lot of consolidation. We're going to see companies buying other companies. It's a very, very bad gun market right now. We in the industry call it the Trump slump. When President Trump got elected, nobody was scared of anti-gun laws passing anymore, even though there's bills pending right now in the legislature that the NRA is backing. Nobody's worried anymore, so they just stopped buying guns. So, gun sales are very cyclical, and political wins drive sales. And right now, the next 3 years is going to be pretty hard on gun companies, manufacturers, retailers, everybody. And we're already seeing a bunch of little gun shops pulling up tent stakes and calling it quits. And we're going to see more and more big name manufacturers. We watched, who was the suppressor company just bought by Gemtech was just purchased by Smith & Wesson. We're going to see more of that, I think, in 2018. I don't think the market's going to get any better, at least as long as President Trump is president. People aren't going to panic buy, and that means this is the new normal, and we're going to have to adapt and get nimble, sell more parts, stuff like that. And if you don't adapt, you're going to die. So it's going to be a rough market, I predict, in 2018 and probably further.
I think that honestly, there's probably not a whole lot of at least the bigger companies. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of innovation. I think they're going to ratchet it down.
People are pulling in ad budgets. The first thing happens when they get hungry, when sales stop, they start firing sales staff. They fire their marketing firms. They fire everybody they deem to be non-essential. Ad revenue's drying up. People aren't buying ads anymore. There are companies, though. I learned this while I was on the whitetail hunt. Federal's going to release a whole bunch of new products at SHOT Show.
Yeah,
they're so well heeled that they're taking that opportunity because, and I think their strategy is correct. New will sell. If it's new and exciting, it's going to sell. And I like their strategy, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to launch a lot. It's an insane number of products that they're going to announce.
I mean, you have, 2017, at least in the handgun realm. I mean, Glock, Smith, CZ, all releasing new guns. And they can't release them again.
Right.
So I just don't think you're going to see a whole lot of new stuff out there.
Right. I think it has to be unique, out of the ordinary, and gun shops and gun manufacturers are just going to have to adjust to the market and get lean and weather the storm. And it's cyclical. It goes up and down. I got so mad when I heard people in our industry. I watched them on live chats, people that were firearms retailers saying, I hope Hillary wins so I can keep my, high sales rate. It's like, dude, I'd rather go out of business and lose my gun rights. You're stupid. Anybody that thinks that way, I'll take the down market because I know it's cyclical. It will come back. You lose your rights, they don't come back. And those guys need to go out of business. I mean, geez, sorry. Why do I get so mad about those things? I don't know.
I'm trying to think of a trend in...
And I can't think of any trends right now, guys. I think people are
the ammo. I think that actually we might see some traction off calibers. Usually calibers, they're a trend. They'll come up for a year and then
6.5 is on the rise. 6mm now has factory loads. 6mm coming up.
I think calibers that if you're just invested in NATO calibers right now and you're like, I don't want to.
It's gonna be pretty boring.
I don't want a different ammo to worry about. Really strongly take a look at 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.5 Grendel, 224. What
Those
else?
are the big ones.
Yeah, I mean those three. I mean 6 mil Creedmoor.
6 mil is another good one. I haven't done much with it. I've invested in 6.5, so to go to 6 mil, I probably won't.
So
it's a really popular PRS caliber.
It's a very popular PRS
when I
caliber.
think of 6 mil Creedmoor, I think of the relationship between 6.5 Grendel and 224 Valkyrie. I think as the same relationship between 6.5 Creedmoor and 6 Creedmoor.
Yeah.
I mean that same.
The six they say
generally
is
the same thing, just size down.
yeah.
It is.
Well, the 6 is definitely
The relationship is the
right now.
same.
It's definitely geared towards match shooting and competition shooting and target shooting.
Yep.
And the 6.5 has started there and evolved into a very effective hunting caliber. I've shot everything from prairie dogs to all sorts of stuff with it. It's a great caliber. So,
But those calibers, if you're not invested in those, at least take a look at them and learn about them and see.
step out of your box, guys. I was that NATO guy most of my life, and I regret it now.
I own a 1.556 rifle, and it's an old Wyndham-made ACR.
Yeah.
And if I can convert it to
224.
6.5 Grendel or 224, I will do it.
Yeah. I think 224. I'm going to play with it and see what comes out and what companies bring to market. But I think 224 will actually become the caliber I wind up using as my defensive rifle. It blows away 5.56 every single category.
That's what I'm. Both my standard ARs are 6.5 Grendel now.
Yeah.
I can shoot. 500 rounds is $130 shipped.
6.5 Grendel is another solid
Right.
cartridge, man. It's a very solid cartridge that outperforms 5.56. So yeah, I like to see those grow. Any other questions?
No, let's move on to the super chats.
Super chats.
So far.
All right.
We got C Beagles, $5. He said, "Thanks for the upload. I'm not able to listen right now, but thanks for being proactive. He will listen later."
Thanks, brother. Thank you for the support. We greatly appreciate it.
Michael says, "Thanks for all you do to support the 2A. Love your channel."
Thank you, man. We love you guys right back. I mean, it's a two-way street.
Jeff asked, "Is there a 10mm carbine?"
Yeah, there is. We have.
Chris?
What are those cool guns that we just got in?
The X-Tar?
Oh, do we have the
The
time?
little pistols?
Yeah,
The little plastic pistols?
we got one in 45 and
I
10
think
millimeter.
it's X-Tar. EXTAR. Don't quote me
You'll see a
on
video
that.
on them here shortly. They're very affordable polymer pistol calibered carbines, and it's in 10 millimeter. Chris is in 10 millimeter. You have CMMG. What's the guard? What do they call it? The 10 millimeter. I put the Echo trigger in it.
It's a Glock magazine.
Glock
AR,
magazine. Yeah, it's a
essentially.
CMMG. I so many guns. I should have actually brought that out. That was actually a pretty cool gun for 2017. But yeah, I hope that 10 millimeter is everywhere. But there's a lot of carbines.
The Vector 10 millimeter release
Yeah.
was a 2017 release.
Was it?
I want to say it was.
I thought it'd been around longer because I've had that SBR for a while. I don't know.
Could be wrong.
But anyway, yeah, there's plenty of options and more every day. That's what's exciting about 2018 is I think we're going to see more 10 millimeters because they're selling. People want 10 millimeter because
Let's just hope as they become more popular, the ammo prices go down as more quantities manufactured.
next one.
Jordan says, "Go Max, send me a message so I can send you the ATF bump stock comment link." I don't know what that's about. I think it's
No, yeah, no, that's the comment. So you can go do the comments. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll figure out how to get back in touch with you because all these comments get deleted when it goes to a hosted video.
This guy called That Guy says, "Mac, longtime sub, appreciate your efforts and info. What do you guys expect to be the trend for 2018? We already discussed that.
Thank
So
you,
there
though.
go.
Yeah, I mean that's what we predict. It's hard to predict, man. It's like trying to predict the weather. We just don't know what's going to happen. Somebody could launch something at SHOT Show in January that just totally takes everybody by storm. I mean, we'll be able to talk more about it after SHOT Show, which I plan on not going to.
Yeah.
Caleb says, "I've been loving all your military surplus videos lately.
Thanks,
what
man.
would you say is the best, quote, buy it now or wish you had later?
Ooh, that's a
military
great
surplus
question.
deal going on right now, if there is any?"
You know what? It would have been. I told people. Remember when the Mosins were so dirt cheap?
They're not anymore.
You could buy them for $99. You walk into any gun store, they had crates of them. When you guys had Bly's, you would actually have guys that knew when the shipments were coming and waiting so they could sort through them, so they get the hex receiver, they could get a certain year, they could get
I would
a certain...
have grown men wallowing around on the floor, going through boxes to look for certain years and certain receivers. It was like kids at Christmas, and I'd be over there playing policeman. It was like, put that back in the right box, get that right back there.
Yeah.
Put it up on the counter, keep them organized.
They were so readily available, and they're drying up. There's nothing that's replaced them I can think of. Every once in a while we'll see,
Not for the price.
like Classic Firearms or J&G Sales. I'm always on their sites. There's good pistols out there. A lot of the CZs, the CZ50s and stuff like that. The CZ70s.
I think that 2018 we're going to start seeing those Grands and stuff come back in. I was a little disappointed at the price. If I think
they
it's correct,
really hyped them.
They're going to be expensive, and I've heard they're not in great condition. So.
Yeah, we got the repatriated Grands that Obama blocked. It looks like Trump's going to, allow those to come into CMP so they can go back out to the public. 1911s are coming, but as surplus rifles, the last of the big surplus boom, I think, was the Mosins. There really hasn't been. We've been through the Enfields, we've been through the Mausers, we've been through.
Well, and with increasing import restrictions, you're not.
It's getting harder and harder to get them into the country.
Likely.
Yeah. So I wish I could tell you there was something cool on the horizon I knew about.
With the sanction ban, none of those are coming back in from.
Right. That's absolutely right. Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. The Mosins are affected by that as well. Yep. Wow.
So
buy them now, guys, because
we think of the Mosins, but all that surplus stuff is
those. The Mosins were $99 back in the day. They're what, 300 and some bucks now. What are they going for? I haven't seen one.
A basic one you probably can hang a little bit under that, but not much.
Yeah. So in the next 5 years, they'll double in value, and in 5 years they'll double in value again.
And I love Eric, Iraq veteran.
But he's cutting them up.
Oh gosh, the videos of them cutting them up, and I would have guys that would buy them and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna sport ride." I'm like, "No."
See, we do this to ourselves all the time. So it's like the classic K98s. Back in the 60s and 70s, you could buy a K98 Mauser surplus from World War II for $39, and people were rechambering them and sporterizing them and butchering them to where we are now in 2017. There's so few of them left unmolested that the prices have skyrocketed because collectors are holding on to them, and there have been so many of them that have been butchered. And the Mosins fell into that category too. At $99, you had people doing all sorts of crazy stuff to them. Eric has done some really funny stuff. He's got one of the guns that's like this big and green with a suppressor on it. It's funny as heck, but that's one less gun in the market. And if you have thousands and thousands of people doing that to as many guns as they can, it starts to shrink that market, and the guns become more rare and more expensive.
Yeah, not only that, but they get traded around the used market, and guys don't know exactly what they're worth. They just see it as an inexpensive rifle, and they'll hack it up not knowing. And so it's like,
yep.
Those numbers always get smaller; they never get bigger.
Right.
And so I just look a decade or two down the road and think about what you're doing.
Yeah. Don't sporterize it. Keep it original.
Buy a 700, an old used 700, and mess around with it.
Send it in for the recall first and get the trigger fixed.
Send it in for the recall.
All right.
David says, what happened to the 50-year-old anniversary AUG? Any updates? How do you like it after having it for much longer?
Yeah, I was unimpressed. The quality of it is off. I had a hard time getting the bolt carrier group back into the gun. It's not an exact replica of the original. It's obviously, a current generation. They've just put the space trying to adjust the optic is almost impossible because they've used the A3 receiver. I'm unimpressed with it. I wish they would have brought back the original for the 40th anniversary and actually sold what we were expecting versus kind of cosmetically mocking one up. Will be a collectible down the road. I'm sure it will be if they limit the number of them, if they're just going to produce them and let as many people buy them as they want. And there's thousands and thousands of them on the market. The price will stay relatively flat. But I'm kind of, that's just a blah. Not impressed. I was much more hopeful.
I think Steyr's going to have to do some major changes to I think they completely redesign.
The ATREX is on its way. The F90 is on its way, and it's a product improved AUG, and I think it's really going to steal its thunder. I think that Steyr is going to be in trouble with the AUG if they don't do something different. It's a great rifle. I love the original AUG. I love my A3. I love the originals, but they're dated. It's a 1970s design, and they haven't really done much with it except put a pick rail on it.
I agree.
And a roller on the bolt carrier and a few other minor things. All right.
Well, compared to the, you look at the MDRs, you look at even X95.
The F90. The F90 is completely different.
Even all these bullpups are much more modernized and designed, and they're just
better guns. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see here. Love all the content you guys put out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shouldn't a bad gun market mean a good buyer of guns market? Mean
Absolutely.
The prices will drop?
It's a buyer's market, guys.
Nothing wrong with that.
The prices aren't going to get any lower. When you see AR-15s selling for $499, I bought my first AR-15. My mom bought it for me. If you watch the video, it's a video out there.
Oh,
Still
so
have
she
the gun.
made a straw purchase.
No, you can buy guns for family members.
No, I'm kidding.
Legitimate gift.
$540. I still have it written in the owner's manual. Paid $540 for that thing in 1986. And today, you can buy a brand new AR-15 from certain companies for less than what my mom paid for that Colt back in the 80s.
So let's back that up a little bit, because that's not quite apples to apples. The current guns that are coming in at that price range are not the same exact.
The Smith & Wessons that are out there on CDNN are pretty much straight up Inforce.
In configuration, but there is a lot of
there are people getting rid of dust covers. There are people getting rid of no.
There's a lot of corner cutting going on.
Yeah.
Whether it's there's reasonable suspicion that some, at least, forgings in small parts are not coming from the U.S. anymore, and we're seeing slight increases in breakages of parts that normally you don't see break.
Yeah.
When there's a race to the bottom like that, everyone's looking for an edge,
right?
And most companies are going to take that if that's their game.
So if you're shopping for a $500 AR, you're going to get what you pay for.
I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying.
Well, but I mean, if a good quality AR is still going to be in the $800 or above price range for a really good quality AR. If you want a stripped down model that's bare bones, you can pick them up for $500, and actually not bad. Like I said, the Smith & Wessons, they're not bad rifles for $500. Are they mil spec? No, but they're functional and they'll take most accessories. So,
okay. Jimmy wants to know what the best semi-auto rifle he can get in Connecticut.
I don't know the Connecticut laws, and anytime somebody asks me what the best of something is, there's no right answer to that. There is no best rifle. There is no best handgun. At least in my opinion, there's so many different variations. I don't know what you have access to. I can't keep up with all the goofy gun laws some of the states have. I wish I could answer. I don't know. I don't know what
their laws are.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the laws.
The
Sorry,
best
man.
one to get is the one that works for you.
Yeah, find something
that's not going to land you in prison.
Yeah, exactly.
Vaughn says, what do you guys think of the 50 Beowulf? I'm loving mine. It's super fun to shoot.
Don't use it. Play with it. Don't care for it.
I mean, it's a fine cartridge if it fits your needs. It's very expensive to shoot. Ammo, to my knowledge, is still only available in one place, and that's Alexander.
It breaks bolts.
What a very
But that was a Bushmaster, wasn't it? That was a 450 Bushmaster?
That was a Bushmaster.
Oh, never mind. It was a 450 Bushmaster.
But
we saw break a couple
big,
bolts.
heavy, cartridges.
Big bore AR calibers.
The AR was never designed for that.
I just have never found a use for it here. I mean, they were popular for a while because they were deer legal.
Yeah.
But now that we've had centerfire, bottleneck cartridges legalized
here in Indiana,
the demand has just diminished.
Right.
And there was no demand for them before that.
Right.
So the only reason there was any demand was because of that window of hunting legality. Now that's gone, and nobody wants them anymore.
When you suppress them, they're noisy. You can't suppress them well. It's just a noisy round.
Heavy recoil.
Lots of recoil. It's hard on the gun.
The 458 SOCOM is in that realm, and the feeding and ejection issues with that thing is prolific.
But if you like yours, man,
I'm not knocking it.
No, yeah. I mean, if you got it and you love it, keep it. Yeah. It's just me personally, I wouldn't invest in one.
50 Beowulf is a good cartridge if it fits a need that you need a cartridge
right
for.
Yeah. I mean, there's no right answer there. I mean, you pick what works for you, man. And if you love it, go for it, brother. Man, keep it. I just won't buy one because I've played with them. I've tried to suppress them. I've played with the 450 Bushmaster and the 458 SOCOM, and doesn't flop my mop.
I agree.
PGR $20. No question or comment. Just
brother, thank you, man. PGR, thank you.
Money. Just sling money.
slinging the dough, man. Thank you. It's greatly appreciated.
Caleb asks, really good question. Being a fan of 6.5, where do you stand on the 6.5x55 Swede, and do you think it is relevant in the world of the 6.5 Grendel and 6.5 Creedmoor?
Oh, absolutely.
It's another one in the.
It's a great cartridge. Matter of fact, that cartridge kind of set the standard as a military 6.5 cartridge. It's an incredible cartridge. It's still extremely popular in Europe, And
U.S. competition, a lot of U.S. competition guys are still using 6.5.
I mean, it's an awesome caliber, and I think it is kind of where the 6.5 Creedmoor originated. I mean, the Creedmoor is just a different case, right? It's we've known for a long time that there's something magical about a 6.5 projectile. It's always performed well. It's performed well as a military caliber. It's performed well as a hunting caliber. It's performed well as a target shooting caliber.
It's still the only downside, and I could be wrong, 6.5 by 55. The only downside is your ammo isn't as available anymore as it used to be.
Yeah, it's getting expensive.
If you load it, if you can find it, Privy it still makes it.
They make it, but it's not dirt cheap.
No,
but
it's
6.5
awesome
Creedmoor is less expensive, I believe.
I'm sure. I mean, Hornady match stuff's 28. I'm sure Federal's on par.
Yeah.
Actually, no. You buy it in bulk, it's 26, 25, 26-ish.
Mm-hmm. What, you talking about Creedmoor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love the caliber. I really do. As a matter of fact, we're going to be doing a video here, and we'll be featuring a 6.5.
I've been in
Swede.
He said match 6.5 Grendel, and I don't put Grendel's a much smaller cartridge than 6.5 by 55, but top grade match 6.5 Grendel, like the Hornady Black ELDs,
performs really well.
It's also $19 a box.
Yeah, it's cheap and it performs really well.
Right.
You're taking a bullet that literally weighs twice as much as a 5.56 round and pushing it at nearly the same velocity. Mm-hmm. I love the Grendel.
John, broke guy here. Love your content and building my first AR. Thanks, guys like you. Wishing I could give Copper Custom a visit. Hi from Florida.
Come on up.
Well, you might want to wait a couple months. It's probably 2 below zero right now, but we'd love to see you at the shop.
And there are deals
if you come up
all over the place, man.
Yeah, prices are good right now, but we'd love to have you in the shop, man. But give it a couple of months because we're having a really cold winter. Thank you for the support.
Just a couple guys dropping in more donations. No questions, comments. Small thank you. Keep up the good
Thank
work.
you guys for the donations. It really helps us at the channel, guys.
We're about an hour 45 right now. If you guys
okay, yeah, we're coming up on 2 hours. I promised my wife I'd keep it to an hour, so we should probably tie things up, guys. Unless there's a big question. Well, thank you to all the super chat guys and gals. Awesome. Thank you very much for supporting us here at the Military Arms channel. We're going to do everything we can with Full 30, with that update that I gave you guys, to try to give a lifeboat to our industry. That's what we originally intended it for. Hopefully that works out for us and the rest of the community. And we greatly, greatly appreciate the support. If you have any questions or comments, you can swing by the Copper Custom website. You can reach us there at sales@Copper Custom.
Until January 10th, it's 20% off all Cerakote on Copper Custom with the code Cerakote20.
Oh, okay. So, code Cerakote20, 20% off on Cerakote.
So anybody who's ready for Cerakote, our turnaround times are pretty quick right now. So get it in, give us a call. Enter in your.
And you want to see some of our work? Either go by the Mac Instagram page, but more importantly, go by Copper Custom. It's at Copper Custom on Instagram, and look at some of the Cerakote jobs that we've done, and you can see.
We just launched auction functionality on the website.
Oh, yeah.
We did droid guns that are up for auction right now, so go check those out. They're pretty cool. But the auction thing is something cool that we're putting out for, guns that are on the channel that come out that we can put out, signed special editions. The auctions just ended for the special ARXs that we did.
We shot.
Those went well, so that's going to benefit Hero Hunt.
Yep.
So it allows us to do some cool stuff like that most gun shops don't do.
So we do have auction functionality. It's brand new functionality on the Copper Custom website. Just go by the website and look for the auction and the navigation across the top. And we hope to, in the future, guns that we use in videos, we'll put them up for auction, and part of those proceeds will go to Hero Hunt, which is a organization that we support here a lot. I want to go into the field with them again this year and do some more hunting with them. But they do great things for veterans, military veterans, law enforcement that are injured in the line of duty, EMT, fire. They do stuff for everybody, and it's run by a very good dude. Over 95% of the funds, I believe, actually winds up going to the veterans themselves, where you see a lot of veteran organizations that are charities where you're like in the 30 or 40% of the funds they receive actually go to helping the veterans themselves. It goes to make the people running the companies wealthy. That's not the case with Hero Hunt. So that's everything, I think. Thanks for the support.
Thanks,
if you
guys.
want to swing by, check us out over on Patreon. It's in every one of our videos. We appreciate that support. And swing by and check out Copper Custom for sure. CopperCustom.com. Thanks, guys. Dave, you want to say anything else?
Thanks. Let's look forward to 2018 and seeing what other goods and bads are.
And Yeah, I know, right? Looking for the 2018 video. Looking forward to that one. And we're going to try again to make these a regular thing on every Wednesday night. So thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.